Fani Willis's father ruins all of his credibility on stand in the state of Georgia, ruins the life of one of their own cooperating witnesses. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to UnwokeThoughts. Tonight, we are talking about day 2 of this evidentiary hearing about the relationship between Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, where the state was set to cross-examine Fani Willis, but then last minute they decided they were not going to cross-examine Fani Willis. They're just going to let her go because I think they decided that she let the cat out of the bag. She was too emotional. She had too many outbursts, and they were opening the door for many more of those outbursts if they actually asked her any more questions. So they decided, this is not really a good look for us. We're just going to let it stay where it is, and we're going to continue on to the next witness. So instead, the state called their next witness, which was former Georgia Governor Roy Barnes, and he didn't really have a whole lot to say. His testimony was pretty much inconsequential. The only thing that he did say is that Fani Willis did ask him to be special prosecutor on the case, and they alleged that she asked him to be that special prosecutor before they asked Nathan Wade. But the big fireworks came later when Fani Willis's father was called to testify, and also Nathan Wade's former business partner, friend, and attorney, Terrence Bradley. Now, one of the things that is pretty key in this evidentiary hearing is the fact that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade dealt with a lot of cash. And Fani Willis testified that the reason why she dealt with cash so much or had so much cash is because her father told her it was a good idea to always keep a lot of cash at your house. And they called him in to corroborate this, and this is what he had to say.
Did she say anything to you about having a large savings of cash?
Oh, no, no. See, maybe, excuse me, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay? But it's a black thing, okay? I was trained, and most black folks, they hide cash or they keep cash. And I trained, you always keep some cash because I've been places, and just because of the color of my skin, for example, I took a fellowship at Harvard when my daughter was just if I might, Your Honor, when I was just, she was just.
So when asked about this cash thing, which is really consequential in this case, because it's really odd that every time that Nathan Wade claims that Fani Willis paid him back for these elaborate trips, it was all done in cash, which means there was no receipts. There's no way you can corroborate that. The only thing you can kind of go off of is their word and the fact that Fani Willis said, well, I've always had cash in my house because my dad said. The way he puts it is that it's a race thing. I don't really know much more to say about that other than that's what he said. He made it about race. But her dad kind of corroborated every single thing he said. And you would almost think, well, he's telling the truth here. Or he's looking out for his daughter. There's nothing nefarious going on here. Well, come to find out, her dad actually had been watching the news, had been listening to her testimony, and had a meeting with Fani Willis's lawyers with Fani Willis present and was basically debriefed on every single thing that she had said in her testimony. And that is why everything that he said in his testimony lined up with hers. Listen to this.
Did you talk about any of the testimony from yesterday or watching the news reports or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. You can't cut the TV on without seeing this. The first thing, and I listen to conservative radio a lot, and last night for 5 hours, all they talked about was this case.
So you were aware of what the testimony your daughter gave yesterday was?
Yeah, unless you don't cut the radio on, unless you don't cut the television on, unless you don't read the AJC or any other, the New York Times or whatever, which I do every day, of course.
So the problem with this is when you have these hearings and you have witnesses, obviously, you're supposed to do something that is called sequestering the witness, which means you're supposed to at least let them know, hey, listen, you're not allowed to watch the news. You're not allowed to talk to anybody about this. But in this case, they didn't, which now it makes sense in hindsight. Hey, that's why his entire testimony lined up perfectly with Fani Willis's. But the real craziness did not start until about 6 hours into the hearing, where Nathan Wade's former business partner, friend, and attorney had been testifying as an adversarial witness, which meant that he was not there willingly and that he had to be subpoenaed by Trump's side. He had been testifying for hours in a grueling testimony, trying hard not to reveal any damning information against Nathan Wade and Fani Willis. And the state's attorneys, who he assumed were protecting him, objected to almost every question that was asked him, claiming it was attorney-client privilege. But when the state came up, who he thought, these attorneys are on my side, when they came up to cross-examine him, they literally crucified him on stand and revealed to the world that he had been removed from his and Nathan's business partnership due to a sexual assault allegation, and they also exposed hush money that was paid in this case. Listen.
And you termed it as a disagreement. Do you recall answering questions as though you left due to a disagreement? Yes?
Yes.
And that disagreement was that there was an allegation of sexual made against you, correct?
That is incorrect.
There was not an allegation that you sexually assaulted one of the employees in the firm.
Whoa. Whoa. They're terrible.
That is incorrect, but yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, there was an allegation that you sexually assaulted a member of the firm, correct?
Yes, that was an allegation. Yes,
And as a result of that allegation, you left.
I did.
You were no longer business partners with Mr. Wade.
That is correct.
Wow.
The firm remained intact, and in fact, the employee involved remained with the firm, correct?
I'm not certain of that.
So guys, this was insane because the entire day, because his testimony took up the majority of the day. I was on this stream for 7 hours. The entire day, these lawyers, Trump's lawyers, Michael Roman's lawyers, and about, I don't know, like 7 other lawyers were asking this guy questions. And the state kept objecting to all the questions that these lawyers were asking him and claiming it was attorney-client privilege. And in this grueling testimony for over 5 hours probably, he did everything he could to not expose his former friend in Fani Willis. And then all of a sudden, when he was cross-examined, the state, for some reason, just decided to backstab him and reveal to the world this allegation and leaving his business in jeopardy, his personal life in jeopardy. Nobody knew about this and exposing hush money. Guys, I'm not a legal expert, so I can't really explain exactly what happened here, but I kind of knew what was happening when it was going on because this entire time, these attorneys had been objecting to the other side. They kept saying, this is attorney-client privilege, this is attorney-client privilege, he doesn't have to say anything, and he was doing his best. You know, he was essentially lying on stand the entire time for Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. And then when they finally came up to cross-examine him, he's thinking that, okay, I'm going to have a bunch of easy questions, you know, I'm going to skate by the rest of the day. They hit him with this bomb, and you can see he's stunned. But let me bring in here Robert Guevara, who is a criminal defense attorney, and let me have him explain it for you.
And Terrence Bradley just got obliterated on the stand. And honestly, I hope somebody is keeping an eye on him over these next few days because it is brutal what happened to that guy. So as a recap, so Terrence Bradley, this guy on the stand, he was, I thought, a good witness for the government. They brought him out. He hewed close to the narrative. Everything was protected by attorney-client privilege. He was Nathan Wade's lawyer, so nothing that they talked about could come out. It was all, I thought, pretty relatively nicely contained. And then Anna Cross came out on Cross and crossed him. Okay, her last name is very apropos. Stabbed this dude in the back. Okay, I can't tell you how honestly disgusted I am by the prosecutors here. Like the Fulton County DA's office might be one of the most corrupt, disgusting offices in the whole country. It could be. And the most disgusting thing about it is that it's the government that's trying to cover all of this up. They're trying to create a red herring. So you look over here. Hey, don't look at Fani. Don't look at Wade. Don't look at their lies. Look at this guy's lies. And she was protecting him while he was lying on the stand. Okay. And then admitted that to the judge. Well, he lied to you. And acted like she was innocent the whole time. Sick behavior. Almost, kind of psychopathy, a little bit of probably clinical narcissism. She probably doesn't even feel bad about it, right? Probably thinks that she's just a good person doing justice.
So yeah, guys, he got completely stabbed in the back. This entire time he's up on stand. He's lying for his supposed friend, Nathan Wade, Fani Willis, and he's helping the state out. He's helping the government out with his testimony, and they turn around and they stab him in the back and ruin his life. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think about Fani Willis's dad when he said that the reason why she had so much cash, or she claims she has so much cash, is because it's a race thing. They need to keep money at their house. They need to bring cash wherever they go. What do you think about this testimony by Terrence Bradley, where he helped out the government for hours and hours, helped out Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, lying on stand for hours and hours? They were objecting to Trump's lawyers and his questions, saying that it was all attorney-client privilege. And then when it came to cross-examine him, they revealed this detail that was not public knowledge, that quite literally would potentially ruin his life after he had just went to bat for Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, and the government. What do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think about this down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.